Hey guys, Sandra here from Carcraft Auto Detailing in Melbourne. Today's video is part 3 and the final chapter of the Guide to Machine Polishers series, which we'll be looking at your standard large throw free spinning dual action polishers and the Flex XFE7-15. Now I have done a full review of the Flex XFE7-15, which you can also have a look at if you want some more information on it. So I won't be going through all its specifications and features here, but rather update you guys on 9 months down the track of using it. And even more so, I want to discuss dual action polishers in general and where they sit in my world of paint correction in comparison to the rotary polisher and forced rotation polisher I covered in the last 2 episodes of this series. So starting with this Flex DA in particular, I want to firstly say to those of you who have seen the review on it that my first impressions of it have stayed true after 9 months on. I have owned quite a few Flex polishers in the past which have done nothing but impress me, but the one polisher that has had me questioning its performance and perhaps left me feeling a little underwhelmed is the XFE7-15, or the Finisher as it's known. I think its nickname of the Finisher is really how you do need to view this large throw DA polisher, as its real ability or strength is light correction and finishing paint. So it still kind of baffles my mind when I hear people comparing it to the Ripper's large throw Bigfoot polishers, or even stating that it's just as capable at paint correction if not more. Now don't get me wrong, as the Finisher does have a lot going for it, from its super smooth motor to its fantastic ergonomics, quiet running sound and efficient cooling system, which does make it a true pleasure to use. And for the final stage of finishing paint or applying a wax or sealant, I grab it quite often. And I can honestly say that it's a machine polisher that you can use all day without it fatiguing or wearing you down. But anyone who has used the larger Ripper's polishers in the past, or even a DAS 6 Pro Plus or ShineMate polisher, should be able to plainly see that the Flex has nowhere near the same correction capabilities of those other dual action polishers. It just plainly stalls its rotation and bogs down far too easily, being near useless at its low to mid-speed range. So while it still is capable of refining paint, it just plain and simple struggles at correcting out more severe defects. However, I quite honestly believe that if Flex was just able to inject it with a little more torque, it could have been a true masterpiece. Now originally mine came with a 6-inch back-end plate, which I would strongly recommend you avoid. But after changing to the 5-inch back-end plate, using the slightly smaller pads, it actually made a very noticeable difference that has allowed me to use this DA polisher with much more success. Now it hasn't transformed it or turned it into a heavy correction machine, but I'm actually quite happy with it now and can appreciate it for what it is. But having said that, if you're watching this video and considering buying your first ever DA polisher, I can tell you without a doubt the Flex XFE7-15 is perhaps the safest and most user-friendly dual action polisher on the market that will give you the ability to improve the finish on your car's paint, but with the added security of making it near impossible of damaging or burning through the paint. But with that aside, I want to discuss dual action polishers in general. Now, when DA polishers hit the market about 15 years ago or so, they were just really finishing polishers, with very underpowered motors, small orbital throws, and really not taken seriously by professionals at all. But with the release of the Ripper's large throw Bigfoot polishers, it changed free spinning dual action polishers forever. We now had DA polishers that could go beyond just refining paint to actually correcting out defects and giving rotary polishers a run for their money. And even since their release about 10 years ago, we have seen in the last few years a steady increase in torque and power, with many more companies releasing fantastic and very capable dual action polishers of their own. But the other thing that has made just as an important impact on these DA polishers are perhaps microfiber pads and the advancements in compounds and polishing abrasives. But to get down to the more basic concept of how a free spinning dual action polisher works and why it's a much safer alternative To rotaries or forced rotation polishers, it's important to understand its dual action motions. The first action it creates is a gear-driven oscillation movement. Now on its own, this is known as an orbital throw, and it's quite simply a very gentle, random circular vibration action that really isn't capable of much in the way of paint correction and certainly not capable of damaging or burning through the paint. But the second action of the free spinning plate, which you attach your pad to, is where the actual bulk of its performance comes into play. But it uses the first action of the orbital's oscillation to propel the backing plate into a free spinning motion, which creates the dual action polishers oscillating and spinning twin motions. Now part of what makes them so safe in comparison to rotary and forced rotation polishers is the fact that they will stall their spinning motion and just oscillate if too much pressure is applied, or if they are used at certain angles or close to panel curves and crevices, all of which reduce the risk of damaging the paint. So in many ways, DA polishers have a little insurance policy that although it's never a guarantee that nothing can go wrong, they are still by far the safest way to begin machine polishing paint. But the most important thing to understand about this rotation stalling feature is that together with its orbital throw, it's what allows you to achieve the perfect finish on paint. If any of you have tried using a rotary or forced rotation polisher up on an angle or with too much aggressive force, you'll know that the finish it leaves behind is quite poor. So the fact that free spinning DA polishers stall when they are used in this aggressive manner is also a way of ensuring that they don't leave a poor finish behind, and remind you that you need lighter pressure and a true flat contact area with the paint and pad to achieve a great flawless finish. But like I said before, they have also progressed throughout the years to become very capable and in some circumstances superior alternatives to your more traditional rotary and forced rotation polishers. I can also tell you personally that these days perhaps 80% or more of the paint correction work I do is with free spinning dual action polishers. And it has absolutely nothing to do with not liking or wanting to use rotaries or forced action polishers, but everything to do with the results I'm able to achieve. So whereas in the past I always had to do at least 2, if not 3 or more stages of polishing, dual action polishers with their fantastic cut and finishing capabilities have massively reduced the stages of polishing required to achieve the level of paint correction that I'm after. Now, as I discussed in the previous episodes, you can actually get by using just a single rotary or forced rotation polisher and changing their backing plates to larger and smaller sizes to accommodate for paint correction in the various areas of a car. But with free spinning DA polishers, you do need to have a second or third machine if you want to utilize the large, medium and smaller pad sizes. As although you can generally change the backing plate sizes, it really does throw the machine's balance off, making it run much rougher, decreasing its performance and increasing the wear on its components. But at the same time, if you're really not looking to achieve high-end paint correction, then a single DA polisher can certainly be enough to greatly improve the paint. And it goes without saying that you can certainly use all 3 of these machines to jump in between while correcting a car's paint. So for example, if I came across a car with badly damaged and hard paint, I might start by leveling out as much of those defects using the Flex 14-2 rotary with a wool pad and an aggressive cutting compound. This will inevitably leave quite a bit of compounding holograms and marring from both the rotary polisher and the combination of pads and products. So I could then move onto the Flex 3401 VRG using a light cutting or polishing foam pad with a medium or one-step compound to remove all those compounding imperfections and begin to refine the finish. At that stage, if I still wasn't able to achieve the level of gloss and finish I was after, I could then use the Flex XFE7-15 with a finishing foam pad and a very fine polish to achieve perfect clarity and intensify the finish. Now, like I've said in many of my past videos, the paint is what's going to truly decide what system and combination of machines, products and techniques will work best. So you can absolutely use all of these machines or just one with whatever products and techniques the paint responds well to. So the only real guide or system you can count on every single time when it comes to paint correction is your ability to read your results and your experience to know how to respond to those results and proceed forward. The truth is that in today's market, there is a true abundance of fantastic and reasonably priced detailing machines and products available. And it's not so much that any particular polisher or compound is going to make or break you, because quite simply the standard of most of them today are really exceptional. The biggest determining factor of whether you have success or failure with any of these polishers comes down to you. So like I said in the first episode, it's really about the time and effort that you're willing to invest into building your skill set and knowledge that will by far be the greatest determining factor of all. So my advice is to take the time to research and choose a polisher that seems to fit your needs best. And then really take the time to get to know it, understand its strengths and weaknesses, practice and experiment, and learn to adapt your technique to extract its full capabilities. I really do hope this series of car machine polishers helps some of you guys out there in understanding their differences and perhaps helping you choose the right one for you. As always, please like, comment and subscribe to show your support for this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.